It's 12:55 and 55 seconds. Turn on your headlights. It's time for Night Drive. Good evening. I'm your host, Horace Wexler. It's late and I am doing great in this little slice of paradise. But man, have we had a wild evening here. Obviously, it's left many residents on edge, including myself, but rest assured, behind the alt-rock, new metal, and post-punk, my producer and I have been in an absolute tizzy, working our hardest to try and get some answers to your questions and ours. We have what we think anyway, a really important lineup of officials who are supposed to be calling into the show tonight to help us make sense of this. And I've got so many questions. Should I be worried? Should I be afraid? Is it time to stock up on toilet paper and dry beans? Is this a sign from God? Is this a blood hurricane? I don't know. I'm starting to lose my chill, but hopefully some of our callers will help you and I make sense of it. I also want to know where you were when it happened. What were you doing during this historic... Is it historic? I really don't know. We'd have to talk with someone over at the Fakahatchee Heritage Museum to see if this has happened before. But they all go to bed at 4 p.m., so I'm sure they missed the whole thing. But nobody ever mentioned blood falling from the sky since I moved here, or in any books about Fakahatchee that I've read. But I want to hear about your experience. That number is 305-209-9686. You're listening to Night Drive. But let's back up just a touch and get all on the same page with what we do know. At around 8:40-ish, a screaming, for lack of a better word, a screaming came across the sky. It sounded like a cartoon missile or a rocket, except higher pitched and not quite so funny. A frightening sound, to be sure, a big sound. Like a sonic freight train moving through the air. So loud, I could hear it in the booth, and this is soundproofed, or is at least supposed to be. But I could hear it. No explosion, at least that I could tell. I feel like we would have heard that. We would have heard if something exploded. In terms of direction, at least to my point of view. It seemed to move up Main Street, coming up from the south by the Shoney's, past a Coke handle shop by Sinsthinks, past the hardware store, past the William Bryden Avenue intersection, and then up toward the Jefferson roundabout, and then let's just say this isn't the way you'd like to paint the town red. My producer, Michael, stepped outside, and he thought it was blood. He said it tasted like blood.
We don't have to get into that.
All right. I went to investigate myself, and I have to say, I also think it's very likely to be a blood or a blood variant. I don't know the source. I'm obviously not an expert, and I'm not going to taste it. I'm definitely not going to taste it. That was an insane thing you did, and you should probably get tested for something.
Test.
I started doing a quick search of the internet to see if there were any easily attainable answers. Wikipedia says something like this is typically caused by a red dust or a bacteria in the air, but I don't see how that ties into the noise. And when you look at the liquid on the ground, it looks like blood, not water with some bacteria in it, which also wouldn't taste like blood. I don't think. And it's not just red in the air; it's red on the ground, like actual meat and flesh blood. And Wikipedia also says it's a bad omen. And I have to say, Wikipedia, that's a real no shit moment right there. Because if you've ever seen blood from the sky and thought, is this a good thing? Then I can only assume you're the type of person who voted for Mayor Vominos the third time. R.I.W. Rest in whale. But my hope is that we are going to get some answers. We're going to talk to the experts. We're going to talk to you out there. We're going to put our heads together. We're going to figure out, as Fakahatcheans, what we're dealing with. So stay calm, stay tuned, and call me up, because I want to hear what you saw and what you heard. That number is 305-209-9686. Now, real quick, do you want to make my life 118 times better? There's 118 coffee grinders still sitting in my double wide. These are top quality coffee grinders. They're going to go to town on your beans. And when you buy one of these coffee grinders, you won't just be buying a better breakfast drink. You'll be helping a local radio host seize control of his household. And honestly, it's only going to take selling 4 or 5 more of these to actually be able to cook something in my house again. Being able to sleep in the bed is obviously still a long ways off, as is being able to use a doorway. Right now I'm using a window. It's just filled with boxes. But get a better breakfast by grinding hot, fresh coffee beans. Well, I guess the beans don't have to be hot. But let's get right into your calls. And at some point, Council Member Richard Baysbahn is supposed to be joining us very shortly. We've spoken to him early this evening, and he'll be here. And I'm told he's got some answers and thoughts on the whole thing. So obviously, he'll be a really important call to hear. All right, let's jump into your calls. I want to talk to whoever's over here on line 2. Line 2, who am I talking to? And what did you do when you heard the sky scream?
Hi, Horace. This is Gary Austin. And when I heard that sky scream, man, when I saw that blood rain, man, I sprinted outside. And Horace, I never sprint.
Wow.
I've never sprinted in my life until that moment.
Right. Then what did you do?
But I stripped off naked as a child and ran outside and rolled around in it and just thanked the Lord Almighty
okay.
that we got this blood rain and that sky scream. It's the best moment.
Are you crying?
Oh, my goddamn life. I'm getting emotional. Bye, Horace.
All right. Thanks, Gary. Thought you were going to be a bit panicked there, but glad that this whole thing has been a positive experience for you. And let's go over here to line 3. Line 3,
hey,
go ahead.
Horace, what the hell am I covered in?
Well, I'm obviously not there.
Am I covered in hot sauce? Did hot sauce man get me? Am I marked?
I don't think so.
I was walking down the street because my dog's got a bad case of the wet squirts after getting into a bucket of dill pickles, and suddenly I had to clap my hands over my ears because the air got real loud, and then suddenly I got blasted with red stuff.
Right. We saw that cover the street. My producer thought it was blood, but we don't really have an answer yet.
Oh, dang, it's blood? Oh, man, I don't care for that one bit. I mean, it's not my first time being covered in blood, but I certainly don't ever like it. Shit, should I do anything? I'm going to call my mom. Should I call my mom? I'm going to call her.
Don't.
Hey, Ma, I'm covered in blood again.
It's still us.
Oh.
I want to hear from you and what you heard, what you saw, where you were, as we try to piece together what happened. That number is 305-209-9686. Okay, it seems like we've just spoken to Richard Baysbahn, and we're going to take his call right after this. So stick around. Hopefully, he'll have some answers.
You're fat. You know it. We know it.
I tried just about everything I could think of. Fad diets, painful exercises.
Yeah, nothing seemed to work for me.
Introducing Manus Max, a bold new fat loss supplement from Tucker St. Clair.
Manus Max was a total game changer. The game was me being fat, and it definitely changed that.
I was thinner in weeks.
And would you say happier?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Manus Max is a proprietary blend of caffeine, green tea, vitamin D, and a diluted Ukrainian nerve gas that attacks calories at the source, your hands. By disabling your hands using a paralytic neurotoxin, you'll experience almost a total caloric reversal.
I thought it would just stop my hands at mealtimes, but I couldn't move my hands the rest of the day, or at all. So no snacking, no anything.
Doctors agree 95% of food enters your body after being touched or manipulated by your hands first. And Manus Max goes right to the source, at a molecular level. It's science!
I was still able to eat a pie by smashing my face into it, but I couldn't get a lot into my mouth, so yeah, I definitely ate less.
Lose the baby weight, rejoin a sport you love, impress old classmates at a reunion, feel stronger and healthier. Manus Max wants to help you be the best you can be. Order today and get a free 30-day trial of Manus Max, reusable straw, tote, and the Tucker St. Clair Beach Calendar. Manus Max, because being thin never goes out of style.
So we're going to go over here to line 3, where I'm told that we have Richard Baysbahn. Richard, are you with us?
Hello, I'm always with you. I'm always here.
Mr. Baysbahn, or City Council member Baysbahn, that seems too formal for this kind of moment.
You can call me Richard. We've known each other a long time.
Well, Richard, thank you so much for calling in to the show tonight. I know a lot of the citizens of Fakahatchee are worried about what's happening. We just heard for someone right before your call that was a little panicked. Fill us in here, but let's start at the beginning. Where were you when this blood rain happened?
Oh, well, I was at my home. It happened earlier this evening, as we all know. I was in my study. I heard a loud sort of torrent come down very quickly. It had a very distinct sound because near my shed, which is covered with the corrugated iron, is just that little, that little sheet sound.
Yeah,
like sheet of rain. So, I peeked out my window and, to my dismay, it was covered in a red substance, which I will, I don't know if this is breaking news, but, with my connections here in the city council, I am able to let you know that it was indeed blood. It's been tested at a local lab and has been found to be blood.
Was that Dr. Scroggins who ran the test on that blood?
Yes, of course,
Okay.
Dr. Scroggins. And in fact, I don't know if this is pertinent to your listeners, but it is AB positive blood.
Oh,
if you are AB positive, feel free to go out and put some in a jar and store it in your fridge. It could come in handy if you ever have an accident.
all right. Yeah, free blood, I guess. Fill us in, Richard. I mean, we don't really have any answers here. You've already told us that it is actually blood. I know my producer had stepped out and tasted it earlier, and he thought it was blood. Does this have anything to do with Fakahatchee? Is this like some sort of weird civic project, or I don't know? Is this infrastructure based? Help us out here.
Well, it's very early on, and we're all looking for answers here, right? I'll be frank with you, and I don't want to say this to panic anybody that's listening, but we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an issue. And part of the issue here, I believe, is the lack of leadership. I know it's only been a few hours, but perhaps if we had somebody helming Fakahatchee in a way that was strong and a good leader, we might have a little more answers on our side. Somebody that has higher connections at higher levels of government.
Right.
Because
it sounds like you're alluding to the mayor's seat.
Oh, well, that's actually a perfect transition there. Yeah. Yes, of course. The mayor's seat. Yes. There's nobody in the mayor's office right now. And that's somebody that should be calling the governor and somebody that should be calling, frankly, Washington. If blood is raining down from the sky, AB positive blood is raining down from the sky, we should be getting these answers from higher levels of government, and we just are lacking those connections. So, I really think that it's a situation where things have kind of come to a head, and we should consider filling that mayoral's office spot very, very soon.
Right. I mean, it's terrible about what happened to the last mayor. It's time to move on, I think. So I agree with you. How are we going to do this? Is this going to be another election? I feel like we have an election every year. Not necessarily for the mayor, but I got to feel like people are getting pretty tired of it at this point.
And I don't disagree with you. And at this point, I think an election is something that would be, frankly, disrespectful to the process of democracy.
Right.
Okay. So I want to have a different way of installing the mayor. And something that is going to be a little bit of a test here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's a way that we can find somebody that isn't just good at talking to people, isn't good at just pressing the flesh, somebody that has real life skills that are needed to take this town to the next level. And what is the greatest trait a leader can have? That's a question for you.
Ooh, I would say maybe determination.
Determination. That's exactly. I was going to say fortitude, but that's the same thing. Same thing. Determination and fortitude. Those are great. A great combo.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to determine these is through a competition. Now, we can't obviously do a gladiator fight to the death competition, right? Last man standing. because that would be a way of determining ultimate strength.
Yeah.
However, I believe the modern day equivalent of this is the, what's colloquially known as hands on hard body competition.
Right.
So that competition is where usually a local dealership, say, wants to run a promotion. So they invite people to come put their hand on a car. Last person to remove their hand gets to keep the car.
Right.
We're going to do this for the mayor's office. We'll take that nice oak mayor's desk.
It's a beautiful desk.
Beautiful desk. Whoever wants to come put a hand on it. And the last person to remove their hand is mayor until the term of the next election.
Well, it sounds like you're announcing this here. So, I mean, I've got more questions on. I feel like I'm just peppering you with questions tonight. I'm so sorry, Richard.
No. I really, I got to say, I love your show. I love your audience. It's my privilege to be able to announce things here, and it's part of why I call in so frequently.
Oh, well,
I like to be able to tell your audience first and foremost what's happening.
Well, thank you so much. So this mayoral hands on a hard body competition. Is anybody going to be allowed to join it? Are there any prerequisites? Is there a fee?
Well, you have to qualify for the mayor's office, so you have to be 18 years or older. No fee, because that would be undemocratic.
Right.
So, yes, anybody's going to be invited to participate. It's going to begin on Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Come on out to the mayor's office. We'll move the desk outside. It's going to take place outside to add an element of heat, humidity, weather.
Ooh.
Hopefully there'll be no more blood rain, but just to kind of to make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
And I'm personally going to petition for a few of my known friends who I think would be fantastic leaders to participate.
Oh, you're going to do some endorsements.
Thinking really hard about it. There's a gentleman that I believe has the determination and fortitude to get it done, and that is Duck Winters.
Right.
I believe that if Duck came out, he would be the last person to remove his hand, whether it was later that night or weeks in advance.
It's classic politics to pull for someone, but you never know who's going to come out the other side.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm just saying who I would recommend, and I'm going to, now that it's been announced, I'm going to go have a conversation with Duck probably tomorrow, when I wake up in the morning.
Right.
I'm going to give him a call and tell him all about it and encourage him to participate.
Any thoughts on throwing your hand into the ring, as it were?
Oh, no. I am a city councilman at heart. I enjoy the teamwork and the spirited debate that happens in the halls of the city council. So I will stay there, and I will just look for our next strong, determined, and fortuitous leader.
Right.
And hopefully that'll be somebody determined by my plan to do hands on a hard desk.
Is there going to be any sort of, I don't know, like safety officers on hand? I'm just worried because we've had that body turned up behind Baysbahn Mercantile, a leg turned up downtown. I'm just worried that a big public event like this might be an opportunity for something or someone.
Okay, you're just going to casually throw that out there, aren't you?
Well,
the body behind my shop.
I didn't want to say whose shop it was, but you did put your name on the shop.
Yes,
and so in retrospect, that's my fault.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Yeah. Okay. No. That's all right. I want you, I encourage these types of questions. I think they're great. I don't want you to be scared of losing access to old Richard Baysbahn just because you ask a few tough questions. That's what I'm here for.
Right.
Yes, there was a body discovered behind Baysbahn Mercantile. Again, something that some information I have access to as being part of the city council is that we were able to determine that it was a murder. It was a homicide.
Okay. I mean, then I think my question still stands about what are we going to do to ensure that this hands on a hard body goes off without a hitch?
Nothing. We are not going to have any safety precautions in place.
Okay.
The hands on a hard body method of determining a winner is at its purest form, you see, when there are no safety precautions in place. That's why we're moving it outside. That's why we're going to all turn our backs on it. We're going to have one ref who is there to look, and we haven't decided who that is.
Right.
But somebody, I mean, maybe that could be me. I don't know. Who's gonna make sure that nobody's cheating, nobody's taking breaks. But the important part is that this is a game of strongest survive. So whether it be blood rain or a reign of terror from a killer, you got to keep your hand on that desk.
Right. Okay. I mean, it makes sense to me. It's brutal. It's brutal is all get out, but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we really want to see the strongest person emerge. That's the key here. And again, I wouldn't be too I don't want to sow fear. Look. I'm not worried about this recent homicide. People get killed every single day, right? For many reasons. I can't give you too many details about the homicide, just in case we wanted to question people and find out details that only the killer would know. Is good police work, but no, I wouldn't be too concerned. Let me just give you the old wink and the nudge. Don't be too concerned. All right.
Did you know the victim, Richard?
I don't know if that's something I'm allowed to answer.
Fair enough.
Per the police work.
Okay.
But
well, can you answer if the sheriff has any suspects in mind?
The sheriff doesn't have any suspects in mind, although there is a strange detail that they are interested in. There was a lot of hot sauce that was found around the body. I can't release the brand name of the hot sauce again. Those are details that the police want to keep secret in case they need to match it against a killer's confession.
Got it.
But there was a lot of hot sauce found around the body. Hey, that's pretty much all we know now. Right now, I believe they're following up leads on hot sauce purchases in the local area because it was a sizable amount.
How many gallons are you able to estimate, or do we know?
It was actually in those individual table-side bottles. I think they're like 2.5 fluid ounces.
Oh my gosh! Like you would put on eggs.
Yeah, there were probably a couple hundred of those.
Wow. Wow.
They were also placed in and around the orifices of the corpse. And so I don't want to get too graphic. And again, I don't know. Maybe the chief of police is going to call in and say, "Shut your mouth, Richard Baysbahn," because maybe I'm giving away too much. But yeah, it was there was a brutality there that implied to me that it was a personal matter.
Right?
Nothing to be afraid of. This isn't going to happen to you when you're walking down the street. This is, I owe somebody money over a bottle of hot sauce, and they're going to make a point out of it.
Got it.
And then they're going to stick them behind Dick Baysbahn's mercantile because they got a problem with old Dick Baysbahn. I don't know what it is, Well, maybe it's a
that
rich
leads
guy
us
that
to
I text too much. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I mean, you're telling people not to be worried, but this murder, as you've just spelled out for us, in this blood rain. Is there anything that you'd like the residents of Fakahatchee to keep in mind as they go about their day? Maybe something to reassure them?
Absolutely. There's a saying my great uncle always said was, things are never as bad as they seem and things are never as good as they seem, right? So things look pretty bad, right? Blood rain, murder behind some fantastic mercantile shop. With a 15% sale going on this weekend, by the way. So things look bad, sure. But let's remember the lesson of War of the Worlds.
The famous radio play.
Yes, the famous radio play. Radio listeners like your dear listeners, whom I love here in Fakahatchee, were listening to a radio play and unaware that it was, in fact, a radio play and thought aliens were invading. People went out. They grabbed their guns. They shot at things. They shot at airplanes in the sky, and it turns out it was a play. It was just a fantastic piece of fiction. Now, I'm not saying this is a fiction. People actually have been coated in blood from this rain, and there is very much a real body that is at the city morgue right now. That is a victim of murder, but who knows what the story is right there, and we can't let our imaginations run wild. The monster that we don't know is always going to be scarier than the truth. And, who knows? Maybe it's a lover's spat, a hot sauce lover's spat. And the blood rain, I don't know, maybe Maybe a man was parachuting, got sucked into a jet engine. I have no idea. At this point, it's really hard to know what the truth is because we're getting a lot thrown at us, and it's very tough, and I understand that. But things are never as bad as they seem, and never as good as they seem.
Right. Strong words. Richard, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
Hopefully you've given some peace to some of our listeners. I don't know. We'll take some more, and if you keep listening, you could tell instant polling, as it were. But thank fantastic. You. We appreciate you always giving us access to you for all the answers.
Oh yeah, of course, my pleasure. Yeah, and to anybody out there that's worried, come on in to Baysbahn Mercantile. There's a sale, 15% off this weekend. And when you're done your shopping, head on over Saturday to the mayor's office and give your best shot at becoming mayor of Fakahatchee.
Should I throw my hand in? I'm not going to throw my hand in. That's too much. That's too much responsibility for me. I work. I don't know. You should
consider it. You're strong. You're determined, and you keep late hours.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Richard, thanks so much. We're going to take some more calls, and we'll talk to you again soon.
My pleasure.
Okay, let's get right into another call and go over here to line 1. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Horace. Mason Loomis again. Fakahatchee letter carrier.
Hey, Mason. How are you feeling about all this?
This blood rain is just ridiculous. I was standing at the corner of Mother Goose Road and I Dream of Jeannie Lane, and I just got covered, and I do not look good in red, Horace. That's why I wear blue.
Well, that sounds like it comes with the territory if you're going to carry the night mail. I mean, there's the whole creed, right?
I know the mailman creed says through rain, sleet, snow, swarm of locusts, gator tornadoes. I don't see anything in there about blood rain.
Do you think that...
Oh, man, my supervisor's calling me. I got to get back to work. Later, Horace.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling in, Mason. Stay blue out there, you hear? I want to hear from you just like I heard from Mason. That number is 305-209-9686. You're listening to Night Drive. We'll get back to your calls, and I think we've actually got a few more callers in tonight that we're hoping to maybe get some answers from and try to make sense of this whole thing. But let's take a real quick moment for some Fakahatchee community announcements. The Fakahatchee mayor's race is coming up. Richard Baysbahn just sent over some more information. If you'd like to participate and maybe become Fakahatchee's next mayor, there's an online sign-up and age validation to participate in the Hands on a Hard Desk. Just a quick editorial note on my part. You cannot sign up your dog, whether you think they'll win or not. It's illegal and not allowed in the town charter. Yes, Champ Heidelberg was a very good boy and a better mayor, but I think we all recall hearing about the financial crisis after mismanagement by Mayor Ladybug and the changes to the town charter in the wake of her scandal. Editorial over. If you're human and 18 and looking to amass some power, well, you know what? I don't think the town charter actually says you have to be human. So if you're 18 and not a dog and looking to amass some power for yourself, sign up on the Fakahatchee City website and get that hand ready. Gertrude Mulmaton, the self-proclaimed grandmother of justice, has started a GoFundMe to post bail after charges of assault were filed against her. You may know her best from her soundbite, "They kept kicking the heads off the swan boats, so I kicked their ass." 2 teens were seriously injured and were admitted to the J.B. Douglas Memorial Hospital with several broken bones, multiple bite marks, and spanked red tushies. Bail has been set at $60,000, and she's raised just over $20,000 so far. Obviously, Gertrude's a bit of a polarizing figure, but if you think she's doing the Lord's work, then there's your opportunity to help this grandmother post bail. Got errands? Just need a breather? Can't stand your child for one more second? Well, this weekend, the Fakahatchee Library has got you covered for childcare. You can drop your potty-trained toddler through teen off at the library to be watched by some of the youth volunteers, where they'll be introduced to books, both old and new, and they'll be very lightly supervised. Like could choke on a marble, but definitely not die from it levels of supervision. Who knows, they might even walk away from it with a new appreciation for literature and a months-long runny nose they'll end up giving to you. This Sunday, the Fakahatchee Critics Association will be having their annual Panned Cakes breakfast. Come on down and bring all your worst cakes to have them absolutely panned by the critics and ripped to shreds from ingredients to structure. It doesn't matter what other people think of them. Your cake is shit, and these folks will tell you why. Doesn't matter, these critics have never actually tried baking, as they've seen plenty of other cakes in the past, so they know how it should go and where your cake should fit in the history of baked goods. Let's go ahead and take another call from over here on line 3. Line 3, always a good line. Line 3, who am I speaking with?
Well, hello, Horace. It's Tyler Duncan.
Tyler, what were you up to when this all went down?
I was, just sitting outside my bungalow, drinking a few beers, kind of napping on and off a little.
Lazy days, I love to hear it.
And all of a sudden, a loud noise woke me up, and the blood rain started.
You were outside and got caught in the blood rain.
Oh, God, I looked like Carrie, the part at the end.
Right.
Ruined my favorite White Snake shirt.
If that was vintage, man, that is sad to see that happen to a good tea.
Ruined my whole day.
I believe it. Thanks for the call, Tyler.
All right now, Horace. Talk to you later.
If you want to share, all you got to do is ring me up. Don't be shy. That number, again, is 305-209-9686. You're listening to Night Drive. Hi, I'm Robard Crumbler Jr. We don't know when it happened, but apparently at some point my father, Robard Crumbler, suffered a stroke from the stress of working here and had been selling gibberish over the radio. We're appalled. I grew up in this store. My father has stepped down and my sister and I have quit our Wall Street jobs and will now be helping run Crumbler Farms. And she and I would like to assure you, we are a normal store that sells normal food. No more chapped eye slapfish or discus oleo washed potatoes. I don't know what that is or how you could buy it. We sell good food, wholesome food, now and always. I'd also like to address the nasty rumors that Crumbler Farms is bankrupt. This couldn't be further from the truth. Crumbler Farms is stronger than ever. If we weren't, could we offer fresh red wrapped tomatoes for $10 a pound? I mean, try our organic rice. It's just $6 an ounce. Get a boost of potassium with a banana, just a normal banana, not a chicharroni sugar branch with yellow sweater, a banana, $4 a piece, $4. Whole cooked rotisserie chickens are sure to please your family at the low price of just $40. These are fair prices. Crumbler Farms. Our proximity to the airport means we've got the freshest produce in town. That's what it means. Maybe you thought it was dumb to be by the airport, but it's not. This is a good store, a wholesome store. Shop here. All right, let's go over here to line 1. You're live on Night Drive. Who am I speaking to?
It's Marshall's Law, brother.
Hi, who is this?
This is Rockford Axe Barber. I'm declaring Marshall's Law.
You keep saying Marshall's Law, but it's actually martial law, and you can't declare it.
Too bad, buddy. I just did. Marshall's Law. The blood ruined my clothes, so I'm setting a curfew for everyone in town to grab their guns. All of them. Put them in a wheelbarrow if it's too much to carry, and get down to Marshall's and get name brand clothes at bargain prices.
That's not what... You keep saying Marshall's Law, but it's martial law. I don't think you... That's not what martial law is.
See, you're afraid to even try. Well, they're going to throw you in jail if you breaking curfew, and you out on the streets and not looking stylish at a price that thrills.
Martial, not marshals. Martial law means the government takes control because the police can't keep the peace.
Hell yeah. Out with the fashion police. Bring on the fashion military. Marshall's Law. There's no excuse for not looking like $1 million without spending $1 million. Oh, I better go.
Thanks for calling in. And if you want to call in, that number is 305-209-9686. Let's go ahead and take another call from over here on line 3.
Dark greetings to you, Horace.
Hello to you as well. Who am I speaking to?
This is Mapleflower Heart Chunk.
Hi, Mapleflower. Where were you when this went down?
Well, I run I Sense Things, the occult candle shop along Main Street.
Oh, I've been in there. I bought a couple candles, actually.
Oh, what scents?
I think they were crushing ennui and disappointment in the self.
Such heavy smells.
So you definitely heard this noise.
I did. It was such a huge noise, like an unlubricated meat processing plant melting down, all across the sky.
Were you scared?
I was, but I was also a little excited, because almost immediately after the blood started falling, it really, really felt to me like, for the first time, my ritual was heard, like really being heard by those who move beyond the veil.
So you think that maybe this is a religious thing?
They were the old gods, but these are the older than olds before religion was invented. Before the first human knelt down and prostrate to the slithering maws that glide through our dimension, gobbling the darkness.
So, a religious thing.
Sure. I just want to say I hope this keeps happening, and if you'd like to join my circle so we can do a bigger ritual maybe for even more blood, you know where to find me. Thanks, Horace.
Okay, thanks for calling, Miss Hartshell. Is this correct? We have Father Jonah. Okay, Father Jonah Likely is here on line 2. Hopefully he's going to be able to give us some more answers, maybe a religious perspective on this. Father, are you there?
Have no worries, my son. Daddy is here. Hey, how you doing, Horace?
Honestly, I'm a little scared. I think I speak for a lot of Fakahatchee when we're all a little freaked out, I think.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and you know, as a spiritual leader, I was thinking that maybe there's like a religious perspective that you could bring to this, or I don't know. Like you tell us, maybe something from the good book.
Oh, sure. Well, I've read the good book back and forth, of course, and I just want to put everyone at ease. This blood situation, I don't think this is coming from God.
Okay.
The book speaks at length about blood, all sorts of things, and it's all pretty like, don't drink the blood, don't mess with the blood, keep the blood in the body. That's
right.
where it belongs.
Right.
Unless it's Jesus's blood. That blood is grade A.
That's special blood.
You don't want to drink that down. Yeah, of course. And it's O negative, the most sanctified of all blood types. And I don't know if this blood doesn't really look O negative to me. It looks a little more AB positive, I think. IB positive and AB positive. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, Richard Baysbahn was confirming that earlier. I don't know if you heard his call, but he did say it was AB positive.
Oh, well, see, there you go. So if I'm right about that, then I must be right about everything else I say.
Fair enough. So you're saying there's nothing like this in either of the testaments. Is there any sort of like thing with the saints? Are there any stories from religion that might call to mind anything of this caliber?
Yeah, I'm going through the old Rolodex here. Certain saints, some of them skinned their knees a few times, and they would kind of talk about it a little bit. I think what was his name? Charlie. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The point is, the only blood that we should be concerned with is the blood of Christ, and that is served from 3 to 4 here at the sanctuary, half price. And that's really all we need to be concerned about blood-wise. This blood, I think, is just a totally mortal issue. There's something obviously going on in these clouds, and it's not angels.
Right.
I'm not going to say it's demons either, although I wouldn't put that past them. I just think this is more of a, more of a flood, more of a, what do you call those? Like water typhoon sucking up fish into the air and then...
Oh, right, like when it rained frogs on whatever European city that was back in like the 1600s.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, it's really easy to point at the Bible, point at God. God did it. Check out this. Look at this. It's not always that.
So you're saying you essentially think it's probably a weather event and not religious at all.
Oh yes, no, I'm well versed in the global issues and the climate change issues that we're having today, and it was a matter of time before we got blood rain, if I'm being honest, and I think we all I think it's the wake up call for everyone,
Right. So my producer is showing me on my computer screen here something about water turning into blood in the book of Revelations. I know that's outside of both testaments, but are you familiar with that passage?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I was really into Revelations as a teen, like we all were. I don't remember a whole lot about it. It's just kind of a downer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're all into serpents and dragons, but at some point, you got to focus on the other books.
Right.
There's so many of them. It's way more than J.K. Rowling could put out.
Right. Revelation's kind of a hot book for angsty teens, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. But at some point, you got to put those things down and focus on the greater good. I mean, we all want to live that rock star Revelations life, but it's just not practical.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You're obviously the spiritual advisor, but like, what is practical about like having the head of a goat and like 50 hooves and I don't know, fire wings? That just seems, I don't know. It seems like a scrawling on a notebook.
That's so true. Oh my God. Oh, hooves. Who needs them?
So I'm recalling some sort of blood rain thing at the sanctuary from maybe that was last year. Do you guys ever do anything like that down there?
Oh, sure. Yeah. We have some blood rain parties, once every few months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Just celebrating the blood of Christ through our sprinkler system. We talked to the fire department. They're totally cool about it. It's all above board. But again, that is O negative blood, and it's of the swine, which I think is okay.
Pig's blood.
And then,
you're saying it's pig's blood. Okay.
Yeah, it's pig's blood. And no one opens their mouths and ingests it, so I think we're good. We're good there. Scripture's cool with that. It's just more for effect, for dancing and celebrating this time on earth that we have.
Right.
All with really wonderful drink specials, Bloody Marys, Bloody Margarets, Bloody Jesus. We got it all.
Right. What's in a Bloody Jesus? Because I think I had one of those once, and I woke up and, man, my head hurt.
Oh, sure. That must have been the formaldehyde. It's just a touch, though. It's a touch of formaldehyde, just for symbolism. But mostly, it's just, let's see, we've got a little tequila. You got your tomatoes,
right.
Red peppers, and formaldehyde, as I mentioned.
Oh, okay. Pretty similar to a Bloody Mary or a Bloody Margaret. Really, just the addition of the formaldehyde that takes it into a Bloody Jesus.
Yes. Well, yeah. That's obviously the main difference.
The symbolism.
Yeah.
Father, is there anything that you would maybe want to say to your flock who might be listening to our show tonight? Maybe just to like soothe their fears or their anxieties. I don't know. What if I just give you a moment as a man of the cloth to just like say some words to calm our nerves?
That's what I'm here for. I just want everyone to know that the Lord loves you. The Lord does not want to scare you, does not want to give you spooky nightmares with blood rain. This is not his doing. So we can all just take a deep breath, calm down. We will let the experts find out what's actually happening. But in the meantime, and God is good, and come on down to the sanctuary, all right? We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you. You can come in clean, stay long enough to get dirty, and then walk back out clean again. It's like a laundromat, but, eternal.
Amen.
Amen to you, too.
Father, thank you so much. I know that your words have... Well, I certainly hope they soothed some of the people out here, and it sounds like it's getting wild over there. So I think I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, no, it's.
I mean, this is your busy time. You're doing me the favor, so you're obviously still trying to run a business.
No, it's more about it's the party, okay? It's a party for Christ that goes down here every single day. Right now, it's hopping like Deuteronomy 12:16, man. I'm telling you, it is hopping.
Thank you, Father. I hope we'll speak with you again sometime in the future.
Oh, you can bet on that. That's for sure.
All right. Thanks so much. If you want to call in, that number is 305-209-9686. You're listening to Night Drive. Maybe you can't call in tonight. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe you had to sell your phone to help cover child support, or you've just had your larynx removed to make your neck appear more slender. Well, you're not alone. Plenty of you night drivers hit us up on social media, and we read every one. Bronco Bluster tweeted at us, Horace, I don't care for Red Rain much, as I'm not a Peter Gabriel fan. Would it kill us to get a blue rain at the same time out of respect for his royal badness, the purple one? Hashtag purple rain. Well, Bronco Bluster, I guess it must just be a sign of the times. Let's go crazy. But thanks for tweeting at us. Over on Instagram, Echo Human Taste tagged us in a photo with the caption, soon, ... this will be you. Hashtag here comes the spice. Hashtag good heat. And several emoji chili peppers. Yeah, I honestly can't tell what's happening in this photograph. It's woefully underexposed. It seems to be nighttime. It doesn't seem like there's much of a moon. Maybe in the woods or a tree-heavy park. And there's like something, I can't make anything out here. I mean, I guess maybe this person's inviting me camping, which seems nice. Probably a bit too humid for it. Can you make out anything on your end?
They look like toes to me.
I thought they might be old grapes. But it makes way more sense it would be someone sending feet pics with a knife next to it than some old grapes in the woods. Get a lot of feet pics over here. I'll add it to the pile. But thanks for tagging us, Echo Human Taste. Also on Twitter, at the Pizza Weasel. Oh, hey, did you see this? So it's me, but it has a pizza.
Makes you a real pizza face.
Come on, stop. Stop into the Pizza Weasel and get the Wexler special for $15.99. Hey, look how they cut it, so it looks like I got my mouth open to say something.
I don't like how they did your hair with spaghetti. It's weird.
It's okay. It is a bit weird. I also don't like that they modeled my teeth with pineapple. Makes me look like an old smoker. But let's get back to your calls. That is what the program is all about, your calls and opinions. That number is 305-209-9686. Let's go right over here to line 2. Line 2. I want to hear from you. Go ahead. Start talking. At any point now, I'm waiting. Very patiently. Say your words.
Hey, Horace, how you doing? This is Luis.
Luis, how are you? What were you up to when this thing went down?
Man, I tell you what, man. I was in my workshop working on this rocking horse for my granddaughter.
Right.
And all of a sudden I hear screaming, like loud screaming.
Right.
And I just think, man, maybe my wife started dropping some kids off at the pool, you know what I mean? I keep telling her she needs more fiber. That's all I thought it was. And I was like, well, she's a loud one today, right?
Luis, your day-to-day sounds crazy. I want to live in your shoes for just 10 minutes.
Next thing I look out the window, and I see this red stuff falling from the sky. And I think, man, somebody must have opened up a bottle of red wine or something. Then my wife comes charging into my workshop, lets me know the sky screamed, and there's blood rained.
Right. So what did you do then, after you realized it wasn't, in fact, your wife attempting a tough poo?
So I tell her, well, I guess the barbecue for tomorrow is canceled. Really bummed about that, man. I had a rack of ribs going, and I was really excited about it.
That's a real shame, Luis. I hate to hear that. Maybe we'll get a handle on this, and it'll just be a little delay and not full-blown cancellation.
All right, buddy. Catch you on the flip side.
All right. Thanks, Luis. Let's go over here to line 2. Line 2, who do we have tonight?
Hey, Horace, Duck Winter.
Hey, Duck, how are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing just great. Have you seen it's been raining? I think it's raining blood.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a scare here. I got to be honest. There was a period around 9 o'clock that we were just terrified.
I mean, it just looked like someone just took a Sharpie and they just painted the whole sky red. And I got to tell you, it's just great. I mean, listen, I had a gator chow delivery, right? And that was about 2 days late. And guess what? Like, no problem. I went ahead and canceled it because there's so much blood raining down from the sky. My gators have never been happier. They're wagging their tails. Their heads are pointed up to the sky. I mean, God dang, man. It's a happy gator life out here.
Almost like a child sticking its tongue out for a snowflake during winter.
Except it's blood.
I mean, Happy Gators has to help make happy park goers.
Happy Gators, happy life, happy, life. I mean, listen, the only way this could get better is if it just started raining Scud energy drink. I mean, that would make me happy. I'm saying that would make me one happy. One happy guy.
Duck, were you scared at all before we knew that this was blood? I mean, maybe you knew before we did with the Happy Gators, but we were terrified.
Listen, I'm scared whenever I hear anything, on the roof of my house. Because I always think it's, someone trying to get in and steal one of my gators. Okay, hold on. You got one of my gators in the back there barking. It's not a gator. It's a dog. And, listen, I was scared. And I was like, is that blood coming down from the sky? And it turns out, it was blood coming down from the sky. But, you got to look at the silver lining in life. And in this case, it was blood coming down from the sky. Because I don't know if you know this, but gators' diets are mostly comprised of blood. You ever see a hamster cage where you have a little water bottle dispenser? Well, I have one of those, but I just fill it with blood. And, blood's expensive, and it can be hard to come by. So it raining down from the sky has been a real big win for duck winters.
I know Richard Baysbahn was on earlier, and he said it was AB positive blood.
Oh, great guy. Great guy.
Tremendous city council member.
He has great gator products and gator-related accessories. I mean, it's just tough.
Of course. Is there any difference in say like the type of blood? Do the gators prefer a certain type? Like this is AB positive, and you said that they're loving it. Is there a type that they don't like?
Oh no, it's like ice cream and fat people, man. It really don't matter what kind it is. It's just the fact that it's ice cream. We
were talking about Richard Baysbahn. Let's talk about that. He's kind of endorsed you for mayor. So I assume you're signing up for the Hands on a Hard Desk that's happening this Saturday for the mayoral seat.
Listen, Horace, I got a hand and I need a desk. So yeah, I am running for mayor. Okay, I mean, I am sick and tired of seeing this town run so incompetently. All right. And listen, usually with my gators, I have to move quick, but don't let that trick you into thinking I can't move slow. All right. I am going to win this contest, and I am really good at not getting a lot done. So I think I'm going to sit in with the city just fine.
Real quick, let's talk about what strategy you might be employing to win this Hands on a Hard Desk.
Oh, well, my strategy, Horace, is to take my hand and put it on the desk and not remove it. That's my go-to. That's kind of where I'm thinking my blinders are. I'm just going to stay focused on that, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work out. I have, two hands, so I think I'm prepared.
Got it. So you got to back up.
And a lot of people in town only have one hand because they've been to the gator farm. So we've had some incidences. So I'm already ahead of a lot of the competition.
Is going to give you a leg up. Unless you're Alleyway Steve, in which case he already has a leg up on everyone.
That's right. Yes.
So what would your platform be? Duck Winters is potential mayor of Fakahatchee.
Oh, my platform is very easy for anyone to understand. Taxes? Nope.
None at all.
Yep, that's it. Taxes? Nope. I already got some signs made up, and that's my big old platform. And I think people are really going to get behind that because, people don't like taxes. And so I say, well, then let's get rid of the taxes.
Well, that's a strong platform, I think, for a candidate, for sure.
It's a strong platform. It's going to get stuff done. I mean, listen, a lot of people complain about the government. So let's just get rid of the government. Stop the complaints.
So you would become mayor and then sort of dissolve the government from the inside.
That's exactly right. My goal is that there will never be another mayoral election again. I want this to be my first and my last term as mayor. Because the mayor's not getting anything done, but we keep paying for him to do it. So How about we just get nothing done except getting rid of the mayor? And then we can make sure people don't get stuff done for free.
So
think about that.
Would you essentially cede all the power of the mayor's office to the city council?
No, get rid of city council too. We don't need any of that garbage. All we need is a gator farm with a 2-for-1 special every third Saturday of the month, okay? And that is the second half of my platform. 2-for-1 special every third Saturday of the month. Now, that deal's only going to happen if I get elected mayor. So, you do what you will with that information. But for the people of this community who love Duck Winter's Gator Farm, I think this is an opportunity that can't be passed up. A 2-for-1 special every third Saturday of the month. Weather pending. If it's raining blood, well, then, we'll push it to Sunday.
Sort of continuing down this path, would you actually move into the mayor's mansion? Or would you...
Mayor got a mansion?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, crap. How big is the mansion?
I mean, it's fairly good size. It's big enough to have a panic room. That's where Mayor Luis Vamonos hid from the Million Mommies March. So it's sizable.
Well. I mean, that just changes things a little bit. So maybe we'll keep a little bit of the mayor around. Look, I don't want to I don't want to put the gator before the cart here. But, I mean, the point is, that in taxes you pay? Well, you ain't going to be paying them anymore if you elect Duck Winners. And that's a Duck Winners guarantee. Also, third Saturday a month, you got a 2-for-1 special. And I didn't even mention the fact that gets you 10% off the merch store. Right? You can pick up a gator belt buckle. You can pick up gator waders. That's like a wader that you wear into the water, but it's all gator skin. It's real classy.
But let's get back to your platform real quick and sort of bring this around full circle. As mayor, what would you do about things like earlier tonight about like the blood rain and then obviously like the screaming that went across the sky from the Shoney's all the way up to the Jefferson roundabout? Is there anything? Are there any actions that you would take as mayor to help curtail this or solve what seems to be an issue for everyone else?
You can't control that. Listen, I own a gator farm. People are gonna scream. It's gonna happen. And the best thing you could do in your life is just to accept the screaming and to let it go through you and then to move on with your life. Otherwise, when you close your eyes, you're going to keep hearing that screaming. And let me tell you, that'll drive you crazy because I have had more than one employee not turn out well. Okay? Because when you have a man whose hand gets ripped off, he's going to scream. So you got to learn to let that go. Otherwise, it will consume you.
Right. Oh, okay. It doesn't feel hugely proactive, in my opinion. But I guess it's really going to come down to this election. And we'll see how it gets handled in that regard.
Hey, you know what makes me scream? Taxes. And if we get rid of the taxes, that's going to cut down on screaming. Okay, that's a Duck Winners promise, along with a 2-for-1 special every third Saturday if I get elected. That also doubles as 10% off at the merch store. Okay, I am raining good deals. I'm like raining blood of good deals right now.
Well, taxes it definitely makes my wallet scrape. So you've got my wallet's vote. Not that anyone's voting, but full support, I guess.
I appreciate that.
Do you want to hazard a guess at what may have caused the blood rain, or is just the fact that, yeah, it's blood, it's rain? Is that enough for you?
Horace, I downloaded one of those meditation apps onto my phone, and I have just learned to accept life as it comes at me.
Mm-hmm.
What caused the blood-curdling scream that resulted in blood coming from the sky? Listen, man, I have no idea. Blood god? Maybe. Maybe it was just maybe it was like a high secret government experiment. I mean, the thing is, I just don't know. But what I do know is that if you elect Duck Winters as mayor, your taxes are going to disappear. That's what I know.
Right. Just like the meat mayor. Oh, well, that's actually an interesting question. I didn't think about asking this before this moment, but as mayor of Fakahatchee, would the meat mayor then be made in your honor? The meat mayor, of course, being the effigy made of meat that you feed the gators during Gator Gansey.
Man, Horace, you have just plopped down a big old decision in the middle of my desk that I got to make a decision on. Would the meat mayor be made of me? Well, you know what? I think you're going to have to come down one of the many third Saturdays in the calendar year to find out.
Okay.
And if there is a meat mayor, I can get you. He's going to be handsome as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back and forth because on one hand, it's like, do you want the gators to learn to associate a pile of meat that looks like you is something that's worth eating? But I don't know. I guess I'll find out. I guess I'll come down.
Listen, if you ask most of the single women in this town and some of the married women too, they will already tell you that I'm a pile of meat worth eating.
Duck, you rascal.
You know me. This must be in classic Duck.
Thanks for calling. Actually, Duck, one more question for you. Let's assume, for just a moment, hypothetically, you become the mayor. That means everyone listening would be your constituents. What would you want to say to them?
Well, I want to say is thank you for electing me mayor. I'm going to be the last mayor there's ever going to be, and your life is going to be better because of it. No taxes, third Saturday. Meet Mayor Maybe, third Saturday, 2 for $1. Go Gators!
All right. Well, Duck Winters, thank you very much for calling in this evening.
You should put that in stone somewhere. Like have a stone carve that. That was good.
Well,
I appreciate your support, Horace. Your endorsement means so much to me. Thank you so much for this time.
I mean, I will probably end up doing an election special, and we'll figure out where the Fakahatchee radio endorsement is going to go, because I imagine it'll have to be a full block. And not something that I can do personally.
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
Yeah. Right. Well, Duck, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks so much for calling in this evening. Stay dry. And
we'll
not
do,
covered
Horace.
in
You don't
blood.
want to take care of yourself.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Duck.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, looking at the clock, that is all the time we have scheduled for tonight. We're not going to be able to take any more of your calls. If you're still on the line and waiting, I'm sorry. You'll just have to call back next time. Hopefully, if you're listening out there, we've put some of your fears to rest. I know I feel a little less stressed about the whole thing. I'll definitely be carrying an umbrella for the next few weeks. If not out of fear, at least out of respect for my white laundry. If you think our coverage has been worthwhile, why not subscribe or give us a 5-star review or follow us on Spotify? Or if you're a podcast addict user, why not give us a review over there to help new listeners find the show? We also know scientifically, there's no better way to cement a friendship than to share a podcast with a friend. Scientific American says this can increase feelings of well-being, intimacy, and influencer levels. You can reach the show on Twitter at NightDriveFM, on Instagram at NightDriveFM Insta, or on Reddit at r/NightDriveFM. We no longer use Facebook because much like what Mayor Vomino stood for, it's a garbage platform. But hey, come join us in our Discord. It's open to everyone, and we've got great people from across the globe. Just hit up my producer, Michael Trulli, for the link, and then get in there and join the rest of the community. Or if you really love the show, why not become one of our patrons and support the show at patreon.com/NightDrive. That helps keep the show going with hosting for the podcast, hosting for the sites, bandwidth for the sites, sound gear, etc. Patrons just helped us improve some of the audio equipment we use to make the show. And also when you join, you'll get $4 off at Teespring for merch. And on the merch side, we got some really cool stuff. Very chill, very vapor wavy Night Drive logos. Which are available in shirts, mugs, face masks, tote bags. We also have an official Night Drive poster that is absolutely awesome and moody AF. I've got one framed on my wall, and graffiti artist Shit Pie keeps begging us for one jealously. That along with some other bits and bobs like pins and stickers and magnets and keychains as well. If you go to www.nightdrivemerch.com, that'll take you to those storefronts where you can find all of that. Night Drive is produced by Michael Trulli and is hosted with a flair for the grammatic by me, Horace Wexler. The following callers were ably played with a laid-back, contemporary, low-key style by Ron Babcock, Sean Bury, and Casey Redmon. I'd also like to thank our lightning callers, John Martinez Jr., Nathan Greenaway, Sean Considine, and Tyler Harville, as well as Gerald Dudley and Todd Mungilla. And a very special thank you to our musical guest, Chumbawamba. You guys didn't get knocked down so much as clumsily trip and fall down the stairs, but I appreciate that you got back up again anyway. Amazing fortitude. Good Morning Sunbuns with Tiffany Bunzell takes over tomorrow at 6 a.m. Tomorrow, Tiffany explores how easy is it to actually fall prey to a cult. She's joined by a bland mom doing a multi-level marketing scheme and accidentally insults a prominent minority Congress member while showing you a recipe for risotto. So until Tiffany takes over, here's 4.5 hours of government-mandated buzzing that I'm required to air. Don't try to make sense of it. Just let it wash over you. So until next time, I'm Horace Wexler. Keep night driving.